Is we're going to start, we're going to do our Kids Firearm Safety 1 class, which is by far my favorite because I have real guns here. I'll talk about them, handle them, answer kind of questions you might have. And so I'm really excited to be here. I'm glad you guys are here. So the goal today is, our goal is 0 firearm accidents is the only acceptable goal. So currently it's at 1 to 2 per day across the country that we lose. And so that's where I think it's really, really important. I'm glad you guys are here. And so, about the foundation, so the Kids S.A.F.E Foundation, we're a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to providing children and parents with safety around firearms education. So everything we do is about gun safety. That's our website, there's a good blog there, there's some reviews there. So it's always about increasing education within the public and letting people know about what we do. And so a little bit about me. So this journey for me started back in 2014 when I was a new instructor and I was working over a graveyard shift in Eugene. I was driving a dump truck and I was going through this intersection and there was a flash of light and there was this voice that said I had to protect the kids. And at the moment, I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know if it was I had too much Red Bull, I was hallucinating, you know, Dad, you get tired, you know. But what I realized later was the universe speaking to me. And so I got off that morning at 6 a.m. I slept until about 8, and I woke up just kind of possessed. What did that look like? And I started looking at programs. You know, being from Eugene, I didn't see one that really met what I wanted to do. And so I started to develop my own. And it took about 2 years to development. We became a nonprofit in 2016, and now we reached over 30,000 kids in 10 states. And that's why we're so glad to meet you guys. I always look at you guys as little force multipliers. Has anybody ever heard the term force multiplier? So what I mean by that is when I give you this information, you're going to take it out into your circle of friends and you're going to keep your friends safe because you're going to be little leaders, okay? So that's what I mean by that. You're going to be leaders because you might be at a friend's house and your friend says, hey, I know where my dad's gun's kept. I want to show it to you. And you're going to say, no, we don't do that. We don't play with guns. Guns are not toys, they're tools. And so we'll talk about that today, excuse me. And so special thanks to Sherwood Police Department. They've been a tremendous sponsor partner of ours. Voltec is another one that's been really instrumental in our continuing our success. So what we do is we always start off with a pledge. Who wanted, and Lincoln, you want to help me with the pledge? Okay, so in just a moment we'll come up. We start with the pledge, we do a little presentation, discussion, and I have some certificates. And there's all these different lessons that the kids are going to learn, okay? And so, come on up, Lincoln. Does anybody else want to help with the pledge?
No? Okay.
No? Okay, so will the audience please rise? And we're going to face the flag. We got a couple different flags. Let's remove our headwear and our right hand on our heart. I'm going to push play and then you go ahead and lead the way, okay? Go ahead.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's so awesome. So the way our program works, we have a couple of different classes, okay? We have a Kids Firearm Safety Education class. This one's designed for our public schools. I wrote a Senate bill in 2019 that would authorize this for all first graders in the state of Oregon. And what's different in this class, was what the one we're doing today, is I have real guns. The one for the schools, completely sterile. It's all about gun safety, accident prevention, anti-bullying, online safety. A lot of the things that we'll talk about today, the difference today is I have the real guns, okay? So. And then we're doing our Kids Firearm Safety 1 class today, okay? So that one where we kind of get more in depth and kind of answer kind of questions, and so it's a lot of fun. We also follow this up on the range, okay? So if you guys have ever thought about teaching the kids, this is how we do it. We do it in a very safe and sterile and very focused environment. And so this one we do with rimfire rifles. It's a good way. We shoot out to maybe 100 rounds depending on the size of the class. And so that's on our website as well. And so you can find out more information about that. So, so before I get started, does anybody know what they would do if they came across an unsecured firearm? What would you guys do? What would you do, Lincoln?
Try to find a trusted adult.
I like that. That's very good. Anybody else? What would you do? Same as him? Okay, good. Anybody else? There's no wrong answers, okay? I just want to start talking about it, okay? So we got 4 simple rules, 4 simple rules. So number 1, I'm going to stop. The reason I stop, it gives me enough time to remember the other 3. There's 4 altogether, okay? Next one, I don't touch. I don't touch. If I don't touch it, it's less likely to go off hurting me or someone else, okay? Next one, I'm going to run away. I'm going to get out of that situation. Okay, what if I'm at a friend's house? My friend hasn't taken this cool class put on my Derek with Kids S.A.F.E, and he wants to show me his dad's gun because he knows where it's kept. Believe it or not, that's probably the most common way for our kids to get hurt. There was last time I was here, it was a couple months back, there was actually a gun that was found in public here in Sherwood. It was like in a front yard somewhere. So luckily the kids did the right thing. And so that's where kids can come in contact. So I'm glad you guys are here. So last one, I'm going to tell a grown-up. I'm going to tell a grown-up, okay? Does that all make sense? All right, so now it's your turn. Who remembers number 1? Please raise your hand. Number 1. Go ahead, number 1.
Stop.
Stop, very good. Number 2, Lincoln.
Don't touch it.
Nice job. Number 3. Who's got number 3? Go ahead.
Run away.
Perfect answer. Number 4. Number 4. Go ahead. All right, tell a grown-up. Yeah, very good, very good. And so, very good. So major cause of firearm accidents would be unsafe access to firearms, carelessness, curiosity. So people find guns. It's really common to put their finger on the trigger. I'll show you what I mean. This is my little secure storage. Anybody seen one of these before? What's this called?
I see it in movies.
You seen it in a movie? What's this called? Anybody know? What's it called again?
The pistol.
Pistol, handgun, right? So this is not a real one. See the laser up on the ceiling?
Oh.
So I use this to kind of show you to start this conversation, right? So every gun is going to have a muzzle or a barrel. That's where that projectile will come out. Every gun's going to have a trigger. That's what makes that gun go bang. You see the green? The green simulates the gun firing. And also every gun is going to have a magazine or a cylinder. There's going to be a way to put a round in my chamber so the gun can fire. Okay, so if I find one of these, it's really important I leave it alone. Does that make sense? Any questions on this one? Okay, perfect. I'll put this up. Goes back in his little home. And so next one is lack of education. So our kids don't know what they haven't been taught. So of everybody in the room, how many of us parents are talking to the kids about gun safety already? So looks like everybody. Awesome. So typically, it's about 60 to 70% of the parents in Oregon that I talk to talk about gun safety. I was in Texas a couple weeks ago. It's 100%, okay? So I guess what I'm trying to do here is just making sure that we're all on the same page and we're talking about it, even at a young age, okay? I think the reason I use the at a young age is because like the hot burner, like you tell your child not to touch the hot burner, the first thing they do is they touch the hot burner, right? So, and that's how our kids learn is through trial and error. And sometimes it can be painful. And with a firearm, it could be life-altering or fatal. So I'm glad you guys are here. So let's pay attention to this one. So kids, 2017, we had 132 kids that we lost, 216 injured, and 16 adults that were hurt. 2018, we had 87 that we lost, 177 injured, 11 adults that were hurt. 2019, we had 54 that we lost, 102 injured, and 7 adults hurt. And so this is all by kids. Okay, so what that's telling me is unsafe access to firearms, zero proper storage, and no education. And so that's why I'm glad you guys are here. This is a national trend. The problem I'm having with updating this slide is the way they're reporting the data. Okay, the CDC is doing things differently. UCR is doing things, like all these places I used to be able to get this data, it's not really that, I have to kind of search. I'm trying to get really good data. So, cost of prevention, right? So we have cable locks, trigger locks. Every gun that's bought in the country is required to come with a cable lock. The problem with the cable lock is it doesn't prevent theft, and they're easily defeated. Like most of the bad people are going to have some way of cutting that lock. So just something to think about. The pistol safe. So we have Vaultec. I have a couple models here. I have the Life Pod, which is great. This is more of an entry-level type for a smaller handgun. They do have a bigger version. I just don't have that one here. And then we have this Vaultec, which I really love. It's got the biometrics. It's got the code. It's backlit. It's also rechargeable. Okay, so with this, I can get into my gun in less than a second, like half a second maybe. And so something to think about. I can just keep it on the nightstand. If this is hooked up to my Wi-Fi, it'll send me a text alert if somebody were to tamper with it. So I think that's another way to. They have a really great app. So a good way to kind of know and have technology kind of help you, right? So If you guys need have any questions, just let me know and I can get you some information on that. Then we got the fire resistant safe, so depending on the size of our collection, okay? Everybody have a safe in the home? Good, good. And then you have us, so free to $20. The only time we ever charge is when we're on the range, but other than that, it's our belief, my belief, that this should be free for every kid. And that's what we're working on translating. Like I'm going into Gresham next month, and we're actually going to have our first Spanish translator there, which is, I'm so excited about that. And so the goal there is just to bring knowledge to kids that are underserved, right? And that's how we're going to keep people safe. And so I modeled this similar to water safety because we teach every kid in this country how to swim. Does anybody know why we do that? Why do we teach you guys how to swim? Why?
So you don't drown.
Absolutely. And that's the whole principle behind gun safety, is so you are safe. So very good. It's a good kid. Good job, Dad. But this is what we're trying to prevent right here. So preventing a child's death, I always say you guys are priceless, okay? The most valuable resource that we have in this country is you. Does anybody know why I say that? If I say you're the most valuable resource, what do I mean by that? Are you going to answer all the questions today? Go ahead.
It's because you can't get them back.
Absolutely. But I guess where I'm going is you guys are the future, right? So I need you to be healthy, happy, be strong leaders. That's what our country needs, okay? So that's why I say you're the most valuable resource, okay? Nerf guns, airsoft guns, BB guns. Who has those? Anybody have those in the house?
Yeah.
Or real guns? Yeah, so these are for if I'm ever handling a real gun, but I can practice them with my Nerf gun or my airsoft gun, okay? So number one, I'm going to treat every gun as if it were loaded. So every gun is always loaded. So what do I mean by that? Does anybody know? What do I mean? Yeah.
You don't touch it.
Yeah, I don't. I like that. Yeah, absolutely. But let's say that if I'm like, let's say I'm with my dad or my mom, and they're teaching me, like, let's start with a Red Ryder. They're teaching me how to shoot. If I treat that gun like it's loaded and I'm handling it safely, what do I mean by like I treat it like it's loaded?
You don't have your finger like in front of it.
Absolutely. So I treat it like that, like it could go off, it could hurt me or someone else. Very good. Very good. Did you have something you want to add?
Don't put your finger on the trigger.
Absolutely. So number two, keep my muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Remember that muzzle I showed you where the green comes out? So I like either up or down, never at someone else. Okay, up or down, never at someone else. Does that make sense? Finger guns? We got finger guns here? Do we do that here? Just kidding. So number three, fingers straight and off of that trigger. Okay, fingers straight and off of that trigger. I'll show you what it looks like. So, see this? See how that finger is straight, just like that? You see that? So with my finger straight, the gun cannot fire, right? You're going to laugh. You might laugh. I think you're going to laugh. I call this my booger picker. Right? So if I keep that finger straight, the gun cannot fire, but I can go like this, right? If I curl it, if I go like this, the gun can fire, but I can't go like this, right? So in the beginning of this, I made these custom shirts. I'm like 35, I'll retire, I'll sell 1 million shirts. It says booger picker on the chest right here. Well, fast forward today, I have a Connex full of booger picker shirts. They didn't sell, didn't take off, so please don't follow me for marketing advice, but I get laughs, that's all that matters. Right? So, does that make sense? So fingers straight. And remember this, there's a test at the end, okay? The right answer is straight and off of the trigger, okay? That's what I'm looking for. So remember that, okay? Any questions? Okay, I'm going to put that up. Back in its little home. And number 4, make sure my target, my backstop, and what is beyond. So what is a backstop? Does anybody know? Lincoln, what's a backstop?
To stop the bullet.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. So what a backstop, the easiest way to explain it for everybody else, is something that will stop a bullet, right? Would this wall be a good backstop? No. How about the window? Is that a good backstop?
No.
How about the roof? Is that a good backstop? No.
It would come back down.
Yeah. So how about the floor? Is that a good backstop?
It would bounce.
So where I'm getting at is we're not going to shoot inside of the police department, obviously. We're not going to shoot inside the home. We're not going to shoot inside of a Bass Pro, okay? We're going to go to the range. We're going to go someplace where it's designed for us to shoot, okay? Really, really important. Something with a good backstop, Okay? Does that make sense? Could be the woods, it could be a dirt embankment, it could be a sand, something along those lines, a bullet trap. So, does that make sense? Good deal. Okay. So, look at their fingers. Their fingers are straight and they're waiting for that command to fire. So we call this is trigger discipline, and where that muzzle pointed is called muzzle discipline, okay? So those are the two skills that we teach in that number 2 class, is we're looking for this is always straight when it's not the right time, and then always making sure that muzzle's pointed in a safe direction. Really, really important skills. And